10 best movie series to binge from around the world. Catching up on shows or rewatching series to refresh the memory for upcoming seasons is great, but a movie binge is a classic way to spend a Friday night. When thinking of binging movie series, popular franchises, Star Wars, Harry Potter, all the different Marvel and DC movies, Fast and the Furious, and The Lord of the Rings come to mind. Great choices, but obvious ones. Sometimes it is nice to have some variety. This list of binge-worthy movies from around the world that gives audiences a little action, fantasy, sci-fi, and even drama and romance to appease everyone in the house on a day off. We've brought you a list of the very best films not in the English language, so rustle up some sushi, strike up a Gauloise, and make sure you've locked your bicycle as we count down the top 10 world cinema movies. Number 10. Spirited Away. Year 2001. Country, Japan. Director, Hayao Miyazaki. Miyazaki was a legend in animation circles long before this film was released, and Princess Mononoke had already set box office records that proved his popularity in Japan. But this tale of Chihiro's search for her missing parents in a folkloric bathhouse full of nature spirits and minor deities, really, is the one that cemented his reputation around the world, showcasing his unique mastery of magical storytelling, Japanese folktales, and bizarre characters. Giant baby transformed into a hamster, anyone? You may not understand what's going on, but its dreamlike magic will carry you along anyway. Hollywood remake? No, and let's not encourage it. What's with the paper planes attacking the dragon? Can we make those real planes and put the dragon on a tall building in downtown New York, maybe? Prizes: Best Animated Film at the Oscars, 4 Annies, and a US National Board of Review Award. Number 9. The Wages of Fear. Year 1953. Country, France. Director, Henri-Georges Clouzot. 2 trucks, 4 men, enough nitroglycerin to blow up South America. These are heady ingredients for any thriller, but the genius of Clouzot's downbeat stunner lies in its murky, masterful characterization. He invests the first half in developing his quartet of desperate men, each willing to risk it all for a stack of oil company greenbacks, so that by the second, a nerve-ripping ride up mountain passes and through tortuous jungles, we're right there in the cab with them. Hollywood remake? Not 1, but 2. Howard Koch's Violent Road, 1958, and William Friedkin's Sorcerer, 1977. The latter was also originally called The Wages of Fear, but renamed after one of the trucks. Prize: Overlooked stateside, it was garlanded in Europe. A BAFTA, Berlin Golden Bear, and Cannes Grand Prize all sat proudly on Clouzot's mantelpiece. Number 8. The Seventh Seal. Year 1957. Country, Sweden. Director, Ingmar Bergman. Shot in a mere 35 days, Bergman's 17th film as a director sees a knight, Max von Sydow, Bergman's alter ego, return from the Crusades, hook up with death, but refuse to accompany him until he can find a grain of hope in a world riddled by plague, flagellation, and religious persecution. Seventh Seal explores the big themes usually found in literature, chiefly the essence of faith, and makes them cinematic through a succession of luminous, unforgettable images. In a career littered with masterpieces, this remains Bergo's best. Hollywood remake? Unsurprisingly, Platinum Dunes hasn't got round to this yet. But the iconic knight-death chess game has been spoofed in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, Death Plays Twister, and 500 Days of Summer. Prizes: the Special Jury Prize in Cannes. Number 7. City of God. Year 2002. Country, Brazil. Director, Fernando Meirelles, Katia Lund. The unflinching portrayal of the dark underbelly of life in Rio's favelas is what caught everyone's attention, but it's the amazingly naturalistic performances by the largely untrained young cast that set this apart and made it clear that it's not just another misery fest. Sure, horrible things happen to good people, and bad, as the central characters grow from childhood to troubled adolescence and adulthood, but the epic scope and lengthy running time isn't wasted on simplistic pictures, and even the monsters emerge as living, breathing, suffering human beings. It's beautifully shot too. The colors are so bright that the blood almost becomes another accent. Hollywood remake? Not on your Nelly. Though Precious, based on the novel Push by Sapphire, comes closest in tone at times. Prizes: nominated for 4 Oscars and won 1 BAFTA. Number 6. Battle of Algiers. Year 1966. Country, France. Director, Gillo Pontecorvo. Long before Quaritch, there was Colonel Mathieu, a man so hard he could wear a jaunty beret in public without fear of mockery. Jean Martin's paratrooper is the sledgehammer used against Algerian independence fighters in Gillo Pontecorvo's foreshadowing of just about every insurgency, revolt, and uprising since. It was famously shown to Pentagon staff in 2003. This movie doesn't just influence filmmaking, it influences entire foreign policies. Hollywood remake? Not yet, although thrillers from Salvador to Green Zone bear its clear imprimatur. Prizes. Fittingly, Italian director Pontecorvo picked up the Gold Lion at Venice. He came away empty-handed at the Oscars, though, despite Algiers' nominations in the screenplay, director, and best foreign language film categories. Number 5. Pan's Labyrinth. Year 2006. Country, Mexico. Director, Guillermo del Toro. Read it as a fairy tale, a cry against fascism, a horror, or a fantasy, or a tale of a strangely beautiful mental illness. Whichever way you look at it, this twisted masterpiece still packs an emotional punch that would floor Chuck Norris. The story of young Ophelia's quest, against the poisonous backdrop of post-Civil War Spain, to survive 3 fantastical tasks and prove herself a princess, could have been trite, but in Del Toro's sure hands becomes magnificent. Creepy and beautiful in equal measure. Hollywood remake? Not yet. If they did, however, they'd set it after Vietnam, the stepfather would be a disturbed vet, and the ending would be quite different. Prizes? Won 3 Oscars, it was nominated for 3 more, and 7 Goyas, Spain's equivalent. Number 4. Bicycle Thieves. Year 1948. Country, Italy. Director, Vittorio Da Sica. It's as simple but powerful as movies get. A man gets a job as a bill sticker on the proviso that he has a bike. On his first day of work, his bike is nicked, and he spends the entire day combing the city with his young son, an astonishing Staiola, searching for it. It's lauded for its naturalistic performances from non-actors, revolutionary use of real locations, and critique of post-war Italy, but this has a highly structured screenplay that builds and builds to deliver real emotional wallop. Hollywood remake? Pee-wee's Big Adventure plays the stolen bike motif for comic book laughs rather than socio-economic commentary. Prizes? It won an honorary Oscar for Best Foreign Language Picture and a BAFTA for Best Film. Number 3. Battleship Potemkin. Year 1925. Country, Russia. Director, Sergei Eisenstein. Commissioned to mark the 20th anniversary of the 1905 revolution, Sergei Eisenstein's silent dramatization of the naval mutiny of the battleship Prince Potemkin put Russian cinema in general and Eisenstein in particular on the world movie map. Whole forests have been destroyed to accommodate the academic treatises that have been written about the editing techniques and stylized compositions on display, but ignore all the intellectual apparatus and enjoy the bold, adventurous storytelling. Its most famous sequence, Tsarist troops systematically slaughter civilians on the Odessa steppes, is so powerful it is often believed to be based on historical fact. It is actually a pure Eisenstein invention and debatably cinema's greatest set piece. Hollywood remake? No straight remakes, but Bananas Brazil, and most famously The Untouchables, are amongst the many that have played riffs on the famous pram rolling down the Odessa steppes. Bonnie and Clyde and The Godfather have also seen characters shot in the eye, a replay of a famous Potemkin image. The Pet Shop Boys also wrote a new score for the film in 2004. Prizes? No, this predated film awards. Number 2. Amelie. Year 2000. Country, France. Director, Jean-Pierre Jeunet. Amelie is a strange beast, a whimsical fairy tale that has more darkness under its skin than most usually want to admit. After all, Amelie engages in malicious practical jokes and stalking behavior in her attempt to help the other lonely souls of Paris, and herself, so it isn't all sweetness and light and big impish eyes, although, mostly. Between Bruno Delbonnel's acid-colored cinematography, Tautu's wondrous central performance, and Jeunet's twisted magical realism, the end result is so utterly lovable that the whole world fell under Amelie's spell. Show us a hard-bitten cynic, and we'll show you someone who secretly watches this under cover of darkness, and a case belonging to something by Kieslowski. Hollywood remake? There was a rumor at one point that a remake starring Julia Roberts was in the work, but that never got beyond the rumor stage. Proof that the universe is essentially benign? Probably. Prizes: winner of 2 BAFTAs and 4 Caesars, and nominated for 5 Oscars. Number 1. Seven Samurai. Year 1954. Country, Japan. Director, Akira Kurosawa. The perfect fusion of action and character, East and West, blockbuster and art house. Kurosawa's first entry into the samurai genre is one of the great masterpieces in any language. Kurosawa creates distinct, memorable characters out of 7 luckless samurai hired to defend a poor farming village from marauding bandits, showcasing his heroes as rounded but dignified outcasts. Shimura's noble leader and Mifune's crazed hothead are the standouts. All human life is here, as are debatably cinema's greatest battle scenes. The climactic showdown in the rain, the stuff of cinematic legend. Hollywood remake? Famously remade as The Magnificent Seven, which was remade as Battle Beyond the Stars. It is also a key inspiration for A Bug's Life, as well as any Men on a Mission movie since. A contemporary remake has been in development for ages. Prizes: it won the Silver Lion at Venice and was nominated for 2 Oscars, Art Direction, Costume Design, and 3 BAFTAs, Best Film, Best Foreign Actor for Shimura and Mifune. Before we end, here are some honorable mentions. Aguirre, Wrath of God, country Germany. Old Boy, country Korea. The Apu Trilogy, country India. Tokyo Story, country Japan. La Dolce Vita, country Italy. In the end, don't forget to share your favorite with us, and be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go, and leave us a comment down below.